Hi, I'm Ajit Chak, and this is Kal Korff from Daily World, and we're back on the Ajit Chak and Kal Korff show. Today, we are going to discuss the effects of demonetization of the note ban or note bandi as it's called on a foreigner. Today, every Indian feels that the 100 rupee note looks orphaned, almost as if his mother and father have died, and the entire burden of keeping the family alive has fallen on the 100 buck note. Cal, as a foreigner, how do you feel this note ban is affecting foreigners in India? I'm not talking about Indians. We have enough of that already being discussed in the Indian media. Can you have your reaction, please, on this?
Sure, thank you. First of all, I want to say that I think the idea behind this is right. I wrote an article which Daily World published praising Modi for taking a serious, over-needed, or long overdue step to help India get rid of black money. On the other hand, the execution of this is another matter entirely. Speaking with the experiences I've gone through, the ATM machines run out of cash too fast, the banks aren't getting the monies that they were promised, Indians don't form a straight line, that's a cultural thing. People cut in front of each other, they hand 3 or 4 cards to somebody, nobody cares, the police stand there, they don't do anything. Cards don't work consistently between the banks. This is not the way to run this program. And then they're behind schedule, they're overpromised, under delivering. I spent at least 3 hours today just trying to do one transaction. It didn't work. There was inconsistent behavior between the different ATM machines, although the card was fine. It's ridiculous, and the lines are ridiculously long. The manager of a bank told me today, I asked him how much longer this wonderfulness will go on. He said at least 6 months, maybe as long as a year. And I have no idea.
You just said something about Indians not forming a straight queue, and you said something about people having 4 to 5 cards each.
Yeah, there's signs there that say limit 1 card per person. And there's a sign out there that says for the sake of the public. Doesn't matter, nobody cares. Today 2 people cut in line. Nobody cared. No police around. I mentioned it to the police. Police told me that the police officers are busy with the election. They're not here, that they have to call other officers. So what happened out there in the 17 market is one lady was upset over some other lady and she threw a chair at her. Luckily she was a bad aim. I pointed this out to the police and I said, people shouldn't be throwing chairs at each other. This is not a Bollywood movie. They didn't care.
What do you think should be done?
Well, I think that if you're going to do something, you do it right. It doesn't matter what the subject is. Do it right or don't do it at all. When you do it half-assed, it's wrong.
So how are you managing to pay for your cab, and how are you managing to meet your daily expenses, cab?
Well, what's happened is it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, and then your major bills, they get behind. Everyone's behind. At the store near where I live, the owner of the store is telling me that they're giving everybody credit because nobody has money. And then if somebody gives them 2,000 notes, nobody has change. And in these ATMs around here, one of them gives you 2,000, the other one gives you 2,500 if they work right. There's not even consistency between the ATMs, and the State Bank of India is out of money, and as of a few minutes ago, they still haven't filled it back up. So the queues in the other banks are extra long, and the banks that were working this morning, they're now out of cash. I checked the ATMs on the way back, Yes Bank for example, they're closed now because they're out of money.
Do you think this will affect the tourist season? Because the tourist season is about to begin in India, and this is the time when Europeans and Americans come to India actually.
Yeah, it's already affected it. In fact, I heard today in line from a bank manager that some tourists in Rajasthan had to, because they couldn't get access to their money. You know, foreigners come here to spend a lot of money because India is inexpensive compared to the West. Do the math on the conversion rate. They come here to spend lots of money. It's cheap by Western standards. Now they can't get access to their full money. They come in here having no prior experience of this type of thing happening, and then they end up getting screwed. Let's be blunt about it. So I heard stories today that tourists had to go to Gurdwaras for free food because they ran out of being able to get access to their money, and nobody told them when they arrived. In fact, there were people who couldn't get money changed at the airport. I heard several people tell me that.
Well, they're lucky that they managed to get to a Gurdwara. There are some places which don't have Gurdwaras, which means no free food.
Yeah, and then the idea that a tourist would know this information and know they could get a free meal there, that's beyond naive. So this whole thing has been mismanaged. I understand that the element of surprise was critical to pull this off because of the amount of corruption and black money that runs this country. But now that they've done it, they should have worked overtime, buy new printing presses, whatever it takes to solve it, because this whole thing is taking longer than people have said. And it's wrong to promise the moon and don't deliver the moon.
Thank you, Cal. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.